for years and years and years, we had drilled into our heads that we are people, we're all working together, and it's all togetherness, and no, that's totally fucking false. It's completely fucking false. Like, and it's becoming more and more obvious that there's a small group of sociopaths who are actively working to destroy the place and the planet, and then there's the rest of us who have just been politely like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do that, sure, yeah, I kind of don't want to, but okay, I guess it'll all work out. And then the pandemic struck, and it led a whole bunch of people, and the capitalists outright betrayed all of us, right? They basically took out a dagger and plunged it into our backs, tossed us out onto the street, and they did it all at once. So now we're all looking at one another being like, hey, have you noticed how these guys are fucking psychopaths? Like, so what I have been responding anytime I see an article that is spreading around that tries to degenerate the workers by saying like, oh, these workers are getting too many benefits, that's why they're going to work. Like, I always point out that those articles are a continuation of the sociopathic behavior, right? That they themselves stand as evidence for the reason why we refuse to work for you. Because you're standing in front of us being like, the only reason you won't work for us is because the government refuses to let us exploit you. Like, what the fuck do you think, dude? Like, you're literally standing in front of me saying, the government refuses to let you starve and die on the street, and that means you won't come work for me, so I can't exploit you for cheap labor, and that's bad. That's literally what they're saying. That's literally what they're saying directly to our faces. And they expect that to like make us go like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. You're right. I should come to work for you. I'm sorry. Like, these guys are sociopaths, right? Ugh. The Ontario Liberals want voters to trust them. They shouldn't. Yeah, Stephen Del Duca, dude. Like, Ontarians don't vote Liberal because they're inspired. They certainly don't vote Liberal because they think they're going to keep their promises. Ontarians vote Liberal because they're scared of what progressive Conservatives do when in power. In reality, however, the Liberals and PCs are two sides of the same coin. Who's been saying that? Who's been saying that for the last couple of years? Is it this guy? Has this guy been saying that for the last couple of years? Hey, Roger Morin, I didn't realize that you were a long-time watcher. Well, isn't that nice? Somebody who's getting published in the Toronto Star, the Hamilton Spectator. Long-time watcher. Oh, I like that, Garden Mice. I like that a lot. So CEO paths. Wow, that's nice. I like that a lot. I'm gonna. Did you see that somewhere? Okay, I'm gonna leave this here because did you see that somewhere, or did you come up with that yourself? If you came up with that yourself, dude, that's top notch. That's top notch. If I was a late night host, I'd be like, well, this one comes from the Garden Mice out back. Sociopaths. Oh, so it was me. Good. Well, you know what? I'm glad that we together inspired one another and created this moment in time, Garden Mice. I'm for sure going to be like, yeah, this one comes from the mice out back in the garden. In reality, however, the Liberals and PCs are two sides of the same coin. For the last 30 years, healthcare cuts, union busting, and privatization have been the hallmarks of Liberal and PC governments alike in Canada's most populous province. Doug Ford has been bad for Ontario in almost every imaginable way, but the idea that Stephen Del Duca and the Liberals are better is denial on an epic scale. Steve Del Duca's Zoom announcement about his education recovery plan was COVID-era political theater at its most cringe. I like that cringe has become this, like, you can thank Gen Z for cringe. That's a real Gen Z thing, and I love it. I love cringe. It's just like, It encapsulates so much in it that, like, when you're hearing these boomers Like, you can't say "Okay, Boomer" anymore, right? But you can say "cringe," which gets the same thing across, right? It was amazing how quickly "Okay, Boomer" became like a bannable offense on most places on the internet. But if you say "cringe," you're safe. And it served as a reminder that the Ontario Liberals are as much about style over substance now as they ever were. Flanked by would-be successors, the dithering Liberal leader... Good word, dude. Good word. Dithering. I like it. Liberal leader announced his plan to rescue Ontario's education system. Get out of here. Yeah, it's total fucking bullshit. Like, it's total fucking bullshit. I'm not going to read the rest of this out loud, but like literally, for those of you who are unaware, our previous leader, Kathleen Wynne, was part of a liberal organization that loved these public-private partnerships, which is fascism, right? Like the merger of corporate and governmental power. And it's more expensive for the populace. It's more costly to do these. But Wynne and McGuinty, the previous premier, also liberal, who resigned over all of this, leaving it to Wynne to take the fall. So this is the reason why Doug Ford gets elected, because people were so fed up with these liberals that they were willing to vote a college dropout, wife-beating drug dealer, right? Like, that's how desperate they were to get rid of these liberals. And Steve Del Duca was there the whole time. He's a Kathleen Wynne toady, right? So the idea that we're going to turn around and vote this guy in after we sacrificed so much to vote in Doug fucking Ford, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I genuinely do think this is the NDP's time. That if the NDP can't actually even score a minority government under these circumstances, they should just get the fuck out of here. Cringe is British slang. We used it in our family since I was born. Oh yeah. It's become popularized recently though. Yeah, Robin. Go to any popular, and I mean any popular Reddit, subreddit, any large scale kind of thing, and start saying "Okay, Boomer" to people. You'll get banned. You'll get banned. Ugh. Very, very concerning. Pandemic taking heavy toll on children's mental health. Sick kids study shows. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like, we kept doing capitalism. Like, capitalism itself is already a heavy mental toll on children, right? They don't see their parents very often. When they do see their friends, it's in this weird, like, education system environment. Every day of their life is scheduled. Like, it's oh yeah, of course it's weird, Robin, but it's what it is. Because the phrase "Okay, Boomer" completely encapsulates in it a total disrespect and dismissal of this person's position completely. That, like, literally when you say "Okay, Boomer," you are saying, not only is this conversation over, but everything you are is wrong, right? Okay, Boomer. Like, there's no reasoning with you. There's no rational, and you're not rational. Like, that's really what it is. Like, that we are acknowledging that you are just deluded and deranged. That's essentially what you're saying when you're saying "Okay, Boomer." Like, just like, you're deluded, you're out of touch, you don't know what you're talking about, and there's not even, like, you're not even worth talking to. You're not even worth trying to convince, because you're so entrenched and set in this mindset of your own destruction, right? And your own destruction and the destruction of your own children. Like, this is the thing that I think, and the reason why I think "Okay, Boomer" got taken out of the discourse as quickly as it did, was because it really pointed out that these guys are sociopaths. Like, I know I'm saying sociopaths a lot today, guys, but, like, it's absolutely the truth. It really, really pointed out that, like, these guys do not care about anything. They don't even care about their own children, right? They don't even care about their own children, right? They're completely willing to destroy everything around them so that they can have cheap beer and pickup trucks. That's literally where they are at. And the phrase "okay, boomer" is literally just like a cut and a saying you are no longer relevant to the discourse. And it's that dismissal that I think the boomers refuse to take, because boomers have been at the center of the political discourse for so long and have deluded themselves into believing that they are correct, that cutting it out and slicing them off and saying, okay, we no longer need to negotiate with you. That's what's scary for these boomers the most, is that we no longer need to negotiate with these. Come on, man, is the opposite of okay, boomer. It is like a boomer trying to be like, come on, man, come on, man. I bought a house at 30, why can't you? Yeah, right? Like, and like there is a point, it is happening, and it's happening faster than these boomers would like, where we literally no longer need to negotiate with them, where we can literally just be like, you no longer matter to the discourse. Goodbye, right? And what's so, if I'm a boomer, if I was a boomer who was actually paying attention, like the rare breed of boomer that actually pays attention, I would be deeply terrified of high-level abandonment from the millennials and Gen Z, right? I'm not saying that we should do that, but I am saying that, like, after the bullshit that we've put up with, it's completely understandable that there would be a large-scale movement within the millennial generation and the Gen Z generation to take the boomers, put them in these long-term care homes, and abandon them, right? And what's so heartbreaking about that is that many of these long-term care homes here in Ontario, at least, have been privatized, and like the military went in because of the pandemic, and they found that these places were bug infested, the food was rotten, people were dying of dehydration because they couldn't get food or get water or anything. They couldn't actually get help, right? And these long-term care homes are all privatized and in place because of conservative governments voted in by boomers. So we're literally going to abandon these boomers to these long-term care homes they voted for, and then they're going to turn around and whinge at us about it. And I can just see a whole ton of these millennials just being like, shut the fuck up and eat your moldy food, old man. And that's what terrifies these boomers more than anything, is that deep in their heart, they know that there is going to be a moment where they're going to have to rely on the people they've been abandoning and shitting on and lying to and being basic pieces of shit to, that they know that they're going to have to turn around and rely on these people, and they're going to be abandoned. And they know it. They know it. Like, they're going to be put in a wheelchair, and they're going to be put into a corner, and that's going to be their life until they die. And they know that that's what's going to happen, right? They know that's what's going to happen. But of course, they just lack the ability to articulate it. They lack the ability to actually imagine it vividly enough to be able to actually articulate it. And even if they did imagine it vividly enough and then articulated it, the only condition in which articulating it would be valuable is in seeking repentance, right? That they would have to repent for what they have done to their own families and to their own people and seek reconciliation, which they're not interested in doing any of that, right? These guys are arrogant. They believe that they are the authors of their own fate. They believe that the free land that was given to their family by the government doesn't matter. That it's all their own hard work and their own effort. It's arrogance and hubris on an amazing and incredible level. And many of these guys are just going to get abandoned in long-term care homes. And we're just going to be like, bye, old man, right? Enjoy the next decade. And it's heartbreaking. Like, I'm not happy to say that, but that's what's going to happen. Hey there, if you like that, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you feel like donating, my Patreon is down in the description below. This live stream happens from 6 to 9 p.m. every weekday, Eastern Standard Time. If you liked what you saw here, please come on in. I love to talk to people. I love having conversations. I love the back and forth. I'm a small but growing channel, and you could get in on the ground floor. Thank you so much. God bless. Good luck. We're going to need it.